So we'll just basically ask you to introduce yourself and then just discuss the current situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going live in 3, 2, 1.
Arsenic on the beat. Part 2.
Charlie, why are we clipping? Was a grens, hè?
Nice, dat is gone.
Cables.
The Babbling Heads podcast.
Yo, what's up? This is the Base 187. Welcome to the Babbling Heads podcast.
I'm Dj Fingaz.
Charlie X to C.
And today we're welcoming back the guys from the Sovereign State of Good Hope. We'd like to welcome George Williams and Craig Classen. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I shared, okay, last week I saw this video. I think we can probably just watch this video first. And then I just realized, okay, you guys are still active. And I made, weirdly enough, I made a snippet of it a few months ago, and I just figured, let me put the snippet on when we agreed we're gonna do this, the follow-up interview. So yeah, let's Charlie, let's just trigger this one.
Okay, sure.
En dan zal ons verder verwag om te hoor van die president. Is dat nog even ja, alsjeblieft.
Kan u dan even voorstellen, alsjeblieft?
So you've been notified electronically, and now we've handed over to you physically. So think out a nice excuse now to ignore us. You have been duly notified, soos die wet moet sê.
Net vir my ons afskrif kan gee asseblief.
Kan u van u voorstellen?
So my name is Levert Solomons. I'm the acting Deputy Director for Customer Services. Okay, my duty today is specifically this memorandum was reached the private officer, the President, and they will be any further comments I cannot make, sir.
Okay, yes, now you're really the in-between go-to guy.
I can't answer anything.
No, I just need to know, you're taking the document.
That's correct. I'm
so
receiving
are you
it.
sending it via email or are you delivering it to somebody else?
Private officer will be in touch as soon as they reach a memorandum.
So how do we know that it's been taken from
They
you?
will be in contact with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Maybe, sir, sorry, man. Sorry, excuse me. Can you give us then maybe confirmation where you handed over to the
separate.
Okay, guys, listen. What happened today? What happened today? It's a promise by God. Do not let us get all involved. We have people, leaders that will talk for us. That man, short nose that represent him, the devil inside. The devil inside. So he won't answer us a lot. One thing we do know today, the notice is in. He's an employee of the government, the notice is in. What is in that document will transpire
in Jesus'
on the
name.
date stated inside there.
In Jesus'
Pet my good. We want you guys as the protocol officer for the First Indigenous Nation Council. I'm telling you guys, go back to your respective people and inform your people what happened today. And there's no turning back.
There's no turning back.
Vote over Grace, you will not even turn back. You won't even turn back. So for now, let's leave it in that gentleman's hands. Even if that documents get lost along the way, it's no problem of us. Our date set inside has been signed for, and that day will happen.
Okay. What I will do with this now, sorry, ek praat Afrikaans nou. Ek praat Afrikaans. Wat ek nou gaan doen met hierdie dokument, ek gaan dit nou scan
en dan stuur ek dit ook Verenigde Nasies toe. Laat hulle kennis dra, ons het dit oorhandig met die video's wat ek van julle gaan kry en dan vat ons dit daarvan verder. Julle taak is, vertel vir almal julle mense. Almal moet weet daarvan. In hierdie dokument staan dit, ons begin op die 7de met bewusmaking en ons eindig op die 15 Oktober 2020 waar ons
2021.
Jammer. Waar ons Rolandsraad aan toemaak. Volgens the United Nations, you need to exercise your independence. En dit is wat ons dan op die dag doen. So, baie dankie dat julle allemaal gekom het. Gaan uit, sê julle mense. Volgende week vrijdag, die 15e, is ons hier so. En dan gesels ons verder.
Baie dankie allemaal.
Baie dankie.
Baie dankie.
I think before we move on to the 15th, that is this coming Friday, right?
Correct.
Let's first recap as to what happened since our last conversation, just to get a sense of where you guys are.
Yes. Last time when we were here, we represented Sovereign State of Good Hope, where they had their own king, the Cuba Cornelius. We entered into discussions with him as to how to take the process forward. Unfortunately, that did not work at all. Things were said that we did not agree with. Things was done that we did not agree with. So I went back to the council and I went back to the people and told them, listen, this is the situation. We still working for the people. We're not working for ourselves. So we need to come up with some sort of idea. So what we've done is the government that was already put in place, we started moving forward then. So we've changed the name. We are no longer Sovereign State of Good Hope. We are now called Good Hope Country. We've changed the flag. We have a new flag that represents the nation. And then we started entering into negotiations with all the groups that will be involved. And then we started doing our research. We formed a group. At the time of Sovereign State of Good Hope, we had a group called New Direction that was doing all the research work for us. Unfortunately, that group dissolved. And then I started the National Affairs Advisory Council, NAAC. And these are the people that were sitting with me throughout nights, researching resolutions upon resolution from United Nations to find resolutions that we can use to free our people. What we've come up with, and some of the information that we've got, after I've sent the first letter on the 18th of December 2020, one of the United Nations people contacted us and then just started giving information on that. As far as we know, when the Republic of South Africa was formed in 1961, prior to 1961, a resolution was already drawn up for indigenous people to claim back their territories. And for South Africa, they are waiting for this moment to happen where the indigenous people will stand up and claim their territory. And that is the process that we are busy doing now. That is why the video is on there. And that is what part of the process, besides your defined territory and your permanent population and all that, that you need to do is that you need to exercise your self-determination. And that is what is happening this weekend on Friday.
Okay, cool. Do you know?
Okay. So, what's the proposed shutdown? Do you still have to apply for a permit to march, etc., or because I'm just thinking now pertaining to
The logistics of it, yeah.
not just logistics of it with COVID lockdown levels, etc. But I see a lot of political parties have already started flaunting this with having mass gatherings, mass rallies, etc. Are you guys prepared for resistance from the police, etc., army, and so forth, especially since you're doing it in town?
Yeah, thank you. We're still following protocol. We have sent a notice. The very first notice that went out now to United Nations was actually to the World Health Organization to let them know that we understand the current situation and that we adhere to the rules and the regulations. But this is also a mass gathering. Crowd control is normally very difficult, but the people will be told you need to keep up your social distance and mask up. Many people will come there. Everybody has always got their own sanitizer with them. We will try and make sure we have marshals that will be there. We are sending out a notice to the City of Cape Town in order to inform them. However, with the situation that we're currently in, once we've sent the letter to United Nations, then we assume limited legal responsibility, which means there are certain things that we can do without having to notify parties. But we're still following the route because this is Cape Town. We want it as peaceful as possible for everybody. Whether we're going to get resistance from police, well, that we will only know on the day when we get there. But our people has been told everything will stay within the parameters of the law. Nobody is going to all of a sudden now go out and smash cars or break things. We will not allow that. That is not our people's culture.
I think with previous protests conducted by so-called coloured communities, as we met very vehemently with police force, I think with the occupation here in Parkwood, the various shutdowns done by Gatwell Capetonian, Triple C, Outby also. I think like there's been absolutely no remorse from SAPS or Metro Police, etc., pertaining to our people standing up and voicing their opinions and demanding our services and our rights. So, besides the United Nations, how are you planning on taking this on a national level with national government?
All right. The first things that we're going to do, we are aware of all the situations that has happened in the past with the our so-called coloured area groups. And then we can also see the double standards that are being practiced. Last week on the 7th, there was a Kasato march in Cape Town as well, where there were masses of people without wearing masks. It was shown on TV actually. And nothing was done there to actually control the crowd or to restrict the crowd. However, when it is our people doing it, we are who are known or recognized as the owners of the land here, then we are being marginalized. So there are certain rules within United Nations that can allow us to go forward. First things, what we need to remember, we're going there in peace. United Nations already have observers in Cape Town. Those people have sent more letters after we've delivered the declaration. We have sent more letters to United Nations with proof of them receiving the document. So I did not check this morning because of load shedding. So when I get home, I am hoping to have a response from United Nations. That is what I've requested. So I know they are observers here. We know there are ships laying outside. We see the UN soldiers in Cape Town. So they're obviously here with a purpose. What we're expecting on Friday is difficult to say, but we're going peacefully to go and declare our independence.
Because obviously now every political party is trying to tick all the boxes now, trying to go out to communities and sway the so-called coloured vote in their favour, which I think also is a good strategy on your behalf under the new Good Hope Country Party pertaining to let them put their money where their mouth is, because I think our people have suffered long enough in our own, as you said, our ancestral lands, whether we are direct descendants of Khoi, San, Malaysian slaves, etc., indentured labourers, free crewmen and stuff like that. I'm particularly also involved with the Kamisa Museum pertaining to our heritage and the 7 different steps and tributaries where we hail from. So for I think a lot of people, it's going to be an eye-opener. And I think we as a coloured nation have suffered too long from Stockholm Syndrome, where we've become so used to the abuse and so used to getting the scraps from the table when verily we should be sitting or heading the table. So yeah, that's just my view, my point of view, my honest opinion.
So Craig, let's see your involvement here about your involvement. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like my leader said, this thing has been going on for a couple of years now. And I can hear on his comment that it deeply affects him, as should it all, because we are all colors, and like you said, systematically we've been broken down. Not, I won't say into pieces, but almost liquefied, because if you look outside, there is no jobs if you're colored. There's no way forward for you. And we are, just to correct you, we are not a political party.
The mic is closer to him.
We're not a political party.
Yeah.
You see, because like I said on the way, politics is a dirty game.
Yeah.
And if you're into politics, then you're in it for yourself. We are in it for the people. Because we have a saying that says that on our creed of conduct, it says, for me, for almal. So which means what goes for me should go for you. If I can't benefit, he can't benefit. If he can't benefit, then no one can benefit. We all must benefit. Because at the end of the day, if you're trying to break away from a system that oppresses you, you can't start a new system by oppressing your own people. Because at the end of the day, you're basically being the same shadow that you're trying to get away from. So what we basically want and busy doing, and by God's will, we're going to do it, and we're going to succeed on Friday, is we're going to make everyone free. Not just free from the bondages of political parties, but free to say that this is my house, this is my street, this is my area. Because I live in Delft. And to be honest, for the last 10 years, Delft was basically only a colored area. If you drive through Delft now, you'll see in the open field there's shacks. They are starting. I'm not saying I'm racist, first and foremost. But you don't come to a place and then, how can I say, there's a certain word I want to use, but I can't come to it. But you live in
Grassy Park.
If you have enough money and you go live in Constantia, will you take the same Grassy Park manner of how you grew up and take it to that area? Because this is like a peaceful area. You see, it's almost like you're taking the monkey out of the bush to put him in the city, but then the bush is still in the monkey, and he's bringing it to the city. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I don't agree with you though.
No, it's your opinion not to agree.
No. Yeah, obviously we proud ourselves here with free thought and not to argue, but to express yourselves. But I think if look, the city already has a problem with spatial planning and how they're dividing us. I personally don't see if a black guy lives next to me or a white guy lives next to me. I'm going to be honest.
No.
As long as
it's done legally.
It's done legally, and as long as when I bought this, obviously the property, I bought it with an idea as this is the type of place that I want to raise my child in. As long as whoever comes in has the same
ideology
and have the same
mentality.
That's all. That's all. I don't really care if it's black, white, pink, whatever. So that's just
I agree with you.
So I get what you're saying, but I just think maybe you the wording is wrong.
Okay, if it offends someone, I apologize. Because it wasn't brought out to offend anyone.
No, look, I know the Western Cape, because it's seen as a power hub for jobs, etc., that there has been a large influx, and this has also been driven largely economically as well as politically, to get more feet in the door, get more voters, increasing the voter base, etc. So we're aware of that. But I also think that a lot of narratives often coming from colored parties is the anti-African. We are all African. We're born of African soil. The Khoi, the San, or African tribes, the Bushman, African tribes, etc. And our different variations thereof as the intermixing of the races happened. It happens with all societies. You'll see in 10 years' time, there'll be Congolese coloreds, there'll be Somali coloreds, there'll be a variation of things. And that's the nature. Delft itself, I remember Ravi's sister stayed there, and we visited like 12 years ago, etc. And then already the cross-pollination. You go to any colored street corner. What are the kids dancing on? They'll dance up kom. So culturally, there will always be cross-pollination. Niger music is here. The food is starting to come in. Different cultures mingle. That is the nature of this. This is a port city. It's always been like that.
It's a human experience.
It's a human experience. But what I want to say is that the narrative should be very carefully controlled. It's like not us versus them. It's like, should you guys take it? You want to secede from the rest of the country. So should you do that? It should be all inclusive. Yes, the custodians of the land are the original descendants. But then also, who am I to say?
You can't.
Koi genoeg he. Because my boss was been one of the biggest activists that I know within hip hop, promoting Khoi identity and heritage. Yet when he did his genealogy test, he was, I think, 1%. But in itself, that's what it says, is that it's an experience. The colored culture and nationality is a lived experience. It's very diverse, but we grew up knowing certain things. Kusistas, Baboti, Omes onder die kombese. The way we speak, the way we talk, sing, our music, our experiences, our traditions. Ons het kook by 2 December toe, ons het Olifantsbos toe, ons het Hottentotshuisies toe. And this gets watered down over generations. So we can sit and have this conversation. Charlie can go back to Lavendale now, and the generation below him won't know or give 2 fucks about
what he's doing,
what we are doing, what you are doing, what we're trying to promote and enlighten our people with. So I don't have a problem if it's whatever political party comes in here, or whatever grouping, whatever the intention is. My main focus is on what happens to our people, our youth that are currently disadvantaged, disenfranchised within the areas they were born or their ancestral homeland.
Okay. Can I just ask you this? So since the last time we spoke, right?
Yes.
It was the sovereign state of Good Hope. So you obviously now told us how you changed. In that time, might just be me, but in that time, a lot of colored voices started coming up.
Correct.
In the whole South Africa. I mean, the PA came up, the CCC now. I know you made up your mind, but what made you? Was there a time where you thought, let us put our voices in that pot as well, and tackle this issue, not the legal way or the political party way. Have you guys ever thought of just while you were changing houses? Let me put it that way.
Yes, we have thought about that. What we've done is we have entered into conversation with Fadil from Cape Coloured Congress. When Fadil had his hunger strike at the parliament, I went there to go and wish him luck. I went to go and support him as well. The bishop that you saw on the video clip, Bishop is a ward councillor for Cape Coloured Congress. Yes, we are interacting with the others. I have not interacted with the PA yet. We have in Grabouw at Knoflokskraal, we had interacted with the people that are from the Good Party. You know the Good Knoflokskraal, where they started occupying land that was previously forestry, that was dormant for 26 years. And once we started occupying, all of a sudden everybody was jumping on the bandwagon because now they need to stop the process. Patricia de Lille went there, and I warned them about that. I said, do not get political parties involved. Speak to the people. But they got Patricia de Lille as a political leader of a group. They got there. And very soon after Patricia de Lille had a meeting there with him, the problem started. Because now our people are being thrown off from the land. They've moved in the red ants and so on. We are talking to everybody. I met with a group in Saldanha. And we are all in talking to one another. If this thing does not come down the way it's supposed to, then obviously we as individual entities, we will be allowed to support a political party. It's everybody's right. It's everybody. So we're not going to tell people, no, you're not allowed to support politics. It's unfortunately part of the current system.
We actually had an agreement with Fadil if I'm not mistaken, leader, that if we don't run forward with what we're busy with, then we will support him.
Okay.
And all our followers will then support him because we're all brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And we basically have the same ideas and the same ideals forward for our people. So unfortunately, we took it as far as it is now, and he's taking his things as far as it is. But the agreement was that should we not succeed in what we're busy with, we'll follow you. And if you don't succeed in what you're busy with, you follow us.
One thing I'd like to explore pertaining to the UN. Yes, the UN is a international peacekeeping body, etc., and supposed to make global policy. But we all know if America puts his foot down and throws a veto in, then nothing happens. My issue is pertaining to secession. Aside from the political kickback or the South African context, we all know that when South Africa achieved independence, it didn't do so economically. The current stakeholders, current leaders, ruling parties or alliances, they had to make certain concessions. And the thing is, the Cape is, I would say, the cornucopia provides
the big part of it, yeah.
The big part of fishing, mining, agriculture, exports. How do you foresee, and this is obviously, I remember with the original plan for Sovereign State of Good Hope, it wasn't just Western Cape, it was parts of the Northern Cape and Eastern Cape as well. So how do you foresee, because the political, it's not just going to be a political kickback, it's going to be economic kickback or clapback, so to say, because those entities are vested. They have their 100-year leases on mining rights, etc., on fishing rights. We are currently...
Agriculture and all that.
Agricultural. We are currently being raped property.
Sure.
I mean, this is a ridiculous city to live in, to try and exist in. Yet we are the working force, or systematically being outworked, so to say. And not just by, I would say, that the foreign immigrant issue, it's the fact that the laws are relaxed to allow people in so that we can get worked out. And this is a basic economics thing that goes, it happens in every other country. It's like you say, it's a lived experience. But at the end of the day, how are we going to get this to function correctly, knowing that there are those parties in place? Because the likes of the Ruperts, Oppenheimers, etc., are not going to relinquish their cash cows.
No,
the foreign investors outpay half of the mountain is owned by a Russian. So do you think those people are just going to give up and say, okay, now let's give it back, let's give retributions towards the original owners of the land, let's uplift them? Or what you see for happening?
No. All right. Let's start with United Nations quickly. Part of the United Nations on the UNDRIP, if there are friction between two ethnic groups within the land itself, then all foreign parties need to leave the territory. That is according to United Nations. What that means, or basically in layman terms, then all Somalians, Nigerians, all of them, they've got to leave the areas. Their embassies has got to make sure that they move out of the area. We cannot be responsible. However, over the past few years, many of them has already mixed into our societies, into our colored areas, where they've married into our areas. And so those are things that we all need to look at. It's not a matter for us of just saying, right, we're the coloreds, everybody else must leave. We cannot do that. It's not going to happen.
It's unethical.
Yes, you understand. So what we need to do is the resolution that we've sent to United Nations is it's a resolution 1514, declaration on granting independence to colonial territories and people. Now, if we go on that resolution, basically it means the whole of Southern Africa, because that was all Khoi land. We know that we are not enough to rule all that land or to control all that land, because now you need to include Namibia, you need to include Botswana, who are all independent countries on their own, Zimbabwe, Mozambique. That is why that letter was hand-delivered. We need to enter in, we know what we want, and that is what we are taking. But we need them to come to the party and negotiate and sit so we can draw up treaties with all these other parties that is going to be involved. Just let me also help you correctly. We're not busy with a secession. A secession is not recognized by the South African law. We're busy with self-determination.
Yeah.
And self-determination is written in the South African Constitution. And that is what we're acting on. They cannot deny us our rights. They need to come down and sit and talk
Can you
to
just
us.
explain to me what the difference is?
Basically, it's the same. Secession and self-determination, and runs sort of parallel. Whereas secession, in a time of civil unrest or civil war, revolution, then any party can secede a portion of the land from the motherland. Yes. Where in terms of self-determination, only the indigenous people can do it. That is why if you look at people like Hein Marx, Eula, Cape Exit, they need to collect a certain number of votes to then apply for a referendum. We as indigenous do not have to. We go straight, and this is the route that we followed. We don't need to apply for a referendum or self-determination. We just send them the letters as long as we represent the people. And that is what we are doing. We've gone around in the past 2 years since our last time that we are here. We went to go and spoke to everybody to get them on board. Not everybody is on board. You know how our people are. But the majority of them has given thumbs up that we've complete the process and they will follow with us.
So with CCC, we also had a similar question in terms that should they attain power or majority rule within should the process of self-determination go forward? Do you have the capacity to govern this area in terms of the right people in charge? Because we've seen this with national government, that people are elected to positions who have absolutely no idea how to run the Department of Mineral Affairs, Department of Agriculture, Department of Fisheries, etc. Do you guys have the necessary capabilities to be able to run a structure like this?
Yes, we do. We do have a shadow government in place as we speak. What I've told everybody, your position is not guaranteed. Everything is it's limited. So more people, since the video has gone out, I've had, and that's why my voice sounds like this, I've had calls from overseas. People sending us messages, do you want us to come back? Do you want us? I had 2 calls from America as well. Everything that we are doing, nobody's position is cast in stone.
Yeah.
That's not a permanent position. So we're going to work. Now more people are coming forward. And we look at people. We've had, funny enough, we had High Supreme Court judges that I had a meeting, not a meeting, on Saturday. I was out standing by the beach and my phone rang. And I looked at the number and the number didn't look familiar, but I still answered the call because now I know I'm expecting a lot of calls. And then it was one of the judges said he now saw the video on Facebook. He would like to get involved. Can he come and talk to me? And I said, yes, for sure. Because now qualified people are coming forward, people in that particular area. The people that we currently have on our government list are not people that are highly qualified, but the people that has got years experience in that department. So people are working, they've been working there for, let's say, 15 plus years, but they've never been given the opportunity to go forward. They've worked to a certain level, and there they stagnate. And they're sitting in that position for 8 to 10, maybe more longer years, waiting on retirement.
After retirement, yeah.
Those are the people that we're giving an opportunity now. But like I said, nothing is cast in stone. Your position can still change. But those that are supporting us now, those are the people that, yes, whether it's national, whether it's provincial, whether it's municipal, there will be a position available.
Okay, cool. I'm just checking the current live. I'd just like to thank the current viewers that are tuned in. We got Emilio, DJ Coolio Wilskut. I think he's all the way from Atlantis. We got Tarquin Graham Gain. We got Gerard Sieberts and Taryn van der Horst tuned in. Thanks, guys, for watching. Other questions?
No, I think I've covered what I've set out to.
Okay. And any last words from you guys pertaining to the upcoming March?
There's no
on the
time.
15th?
If you still need to explain like another chapter or something like that, you're more than welcome to.
Okay. What I want to say, the basics that we're concentrating on, or what he said early on, is uplifting our own people. Currently, our youth are in disarray. We look at our areas. So there are certain things that we're putting in place. And one of the things that we've discussed is a possibility of making military training compulsory.
Military school as well.
But
mandatory.
It's not only going to be a 2-year process where people will come and they train for 2 years. Maybe they go to fight. Hopefully we don't have to do that. But we were thinking of a 5-year process for our kids. Your first year, you get your basic training. And then second year, you need to do border duty. I think it's going to be important because if our economy grows, then everybody would want to flux back to the Cape province. So we need to do that. But the important thing is, besides the discipline that we put in those kids, the next 3 years, they will be in military and they will study for a profession. Study for something that they can do, which means by the end of when they leave military, they're 23 years old or around about that. They should be disciplined and they should be qualified. They can go out and start working immediately. They can stay in the military and work themselves up in the ranking, or their parents can pay for them further to study further, and they can go for a degree where they become doctors, lawyers, and stuff. That is something that we have in mind. Like I said, we would welcome more ideas from people to say whether we're on the right path or where we should change.
That's very important.
Yes. No, we are open to suggestions.
Because forced prescriptions won't necessarily work, especially in a democratic society where people have the rights to. It sounds very autocratic to me because the likes of Israel as well as North Korea have forced conscriptions. It used to be happen in South Africa as well, where
it was mandatory for you to go.
The Caucasians were forced to go and undergo military training, etc. It's a lot of people don't also understand the fact that the trauma that can come from combat is not addressed. We have so much people internationally from the US who have been doing all these campaigns. The post-traumatic stress disorders that comes along with that could be very debilitating. I understand the concept of instilling discipline in the youth, but somebody that's a revolutionary might not necessarily want that. Somebody that's autistic might not want that, a creative, etc. So there needs to be a balance in terms of, do you want to join the military or do you want to join the military corps, which is now usually your engineering arm, etc. And you can then go plan and become a surveyor. You can get your qualifications.
As well as officer school as well.
So all these different things where you can instill discipline in school, have cadets, etc. Where you do drills, not necessary, because when the premise of a military is to be armed and ready to go to war. And that's not everybody's mindset, and it shouldn't also be. War is one of the things that drives economies. The reason why there's been so many incursions into other countries, especially in the Middle East. Afghanistan was a major flop, a 20-year war that drained the people's pockets, the American populace pockets, and has left the country destitute. People were upskilling, females were allowed to go to university, get skills, who are now left destitute, and the system has collapsed. So, like you said, fall away, break away from, don't become the shadow of the former
thing that you're running away
former
from.
thing that you're running away from. But look at the balance of things for those that want to, because there has been issues, Cape Town being the home of the Simonstown Navy. It's like the kids can't access the Navy.
Yeah, my brother's one of them actually.
Yeah,
because he's a cadet, and the whole idea, sorry to break away, the whole idea for my baby brother to have gone through the cadet thing was to hopefully get into the Navy. And they just, I mean, my father was a Navy man all the years, and he just can't get in.
Can't get in,
and we all know why. And
the same like me when I left too. I wanted to go to the defense force, but I couldn't. I had good marks. Unfortunately, I couldn't. So
yeah. For me, can I just say something? I think more it's not the thing of military being an army thing, man. But I think about it as, for example, a chance for our people maybe to learn, man. Instead of learning unnecessary, sorry for the word, shit, you can actually learn a profession that you actually want to do.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And there is avenues for you to learn whatever you want to get taught in it. So, for example, I want to be an engineer. I want to learn how to build a submarine, for example, or be an engineer on a submarine.
Well,
so
that
then
is
I can
where
learn, like from a young age already. This is what I want to do. You get what I'm saying?
If you look at South Africa's major armament manufacturers, Nantal is based in the Western Cape. We've created the Roy Falk, the Dungas tank, the Kufu tank. It is the Kufu vehicle has been used to quell civil unrest. We've created tanks, etc.
We actually build tanks
munitions,
overseas.
and that's the thing. We build and export.
We build tanks for America.
So why is it that we don't become the major employment force? I mean, Cape Town was head in CMT, clothing manufacturing trade. We were head in a lot of trades, but the likes of trade schools no longer exist.
Yes.
Or they are very small. I mean, there's very few people. We don't want hairdressers. We don't want just welders. We want plumbers. We want
bombers. We want
to be able to own. Like, why must it be an M4H group that was also implicated in a lot of corruption here in the Western Cape, pertaining to contracts for building the stadiums and stuff? Why can't they be colored-owned businesses? Colored-owned examples of this is a level of excellence you can achieve.
You can achieve
Because that's the premise of democracy. I mean,
Yes.
America is like the home, land of the brave, home of the free. It's like if you work hard, you can achieve it. Yeah, we work hard and we die
Achieve
in
nothing.
a hockey.
Well,
in
this
the
is-
backyard.
Yeah.
It's not like there's no colored owners. Huh?
No, there is, but it's like the playing field is not level.
Yeah.
The educational field is not level. The access to opportunity and the fairness thereof is not level.
That
so I
is
say
what
that
we-
needs to be addressed.
That is what we're trying to create for our people. If you look at Atlantis, for instance, at the moment there are 17 textile warehouses standing empty.
Standing still, yeah.
It's not being utilized. And I have spoken to somebody there already because we need to open up those. We need to create work for our people. And I mean, if you look at Atlantis, I've got a sister there that's been a seamster for many years. But since the factories have closed, no longer work available. We need to bring that. We need to bring that pride back to the people, so they can start working for a living again, in standing in a Sasa queue.
Do you know what?
Coolio was from Stellenbosch, by the way, not from Atlantis.
Oh,
no?
sorry.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Just to comment on what you said now, no? The infrastructure, we have infrastructure here. But like you said, it's the lack of opportunity. And your neighbor next to you might have bright ideas or might be good in certain profession, but the opportunity isn't given to that person. I made an example years back. I said to one of my friends, I said, you know what, no? Just imagine this. We got Robben Island, no? We got the Robs in the sea. Robben.
Yeah, the seals.
Yeah, the seals, yeah. Now, they are getting so much. This is an example. I want you to think about it.
Are you talking about culling?
Yeah, they're getting so much. Yeah, they're basically overpopulating. What we do is we say to China, okay, this is an example. I'm not saying it's happening. But I'm making an example. We say to China, listen here, if you can give us 50 rand for one seal, we export it to you. Now you export 100,000 seals. China buys it, it gives you the money. They make hats, they make wallets, they make belts, they make boots, and they sell it back to you with triple the price. So we could have done it ourselves. You see, you could have actually, you could have minimized the amount and still made profit of it.
But I know seal clubbing or seal killing is frowned upon internationally, so
Yeah.
it might not be. But I know as an example of what we can use locally.
It's the same like the same like agriculture. Why must you pay 5 rand for 2 potatoes?
Yeah.
When all the farms is here in the Western Cape. They basically, like you said, they're training our people. They're exporting most of the stock and selling the little that they have for triple or quadruple the price.
Not just that, I think as recent as last year, we had the city of Cape Town trying to build on our food basket in the Philippine area, where they want to have spatial developments over there. And it's like, but that is one of the major aquifers. That which provides a lot of the Cape with its agriable farmland as well as one of the major water sources.
They're just out of touch, man.
We've got 7 water springs in the city of Cape Town that
Exactly.
have.
The DA
the
is
water's
just
running
out
away.
of touch for me, man. It's like this is what I wanted to ask you guys, man. Have you seen the new ads? The one,
Oh God, the one from Bondival.
the Bondival one, and the good one. Oh, the where they
The boxing gloves.
That is so.
I saw the boxing poster.
Yeah.
It's for me. It's like a game to them, man.
Yeah.
It's like
It
and,
is.
and people
No,
are
it is.
dying for me, and it's like, you guys, your posters
No,
is,
it
is insensitive, man. It's
Yeah.
Look,
If you look at the whole situation, let's call a spade a spade. If we look at the current actions from the DA, it's almost like they want to alienate themselves from our people. Now, we know about the various parties, and I think somehow they probably supporting our political parties in order to divide our vote.
keep the colored people divided. Yeah.
And that is the influx that is happening now, because we've been knowing now already for more than a year, they want the EFF to win the Western Cape. And we cannot allow that, because if the EFF, they remember the Bantu expansion if you look at the River Kai, the Great Fish River, the first time that Unguni was seen south of that river was in 1791. Before that, it was all our people. I have no problem working with them. I have friends, same as I have white friends, and our cultures are totally different. But for them now to come in, none of them will come into my house and go to my fridge and just go open my door. You just simply do not allow that. Our ancestors have allowed that for years. That is why we're in the situation that we are in now. And now that we want to rectify the situation, now we're getting opposition from the invaders, to put it that way. So what the DA is busy with, what all the other people are busy with, is trying to get our people, and unfortunately our people are like that, where they hear the one people talking and, oh no, they're running with the idea. There's money involved. I come and tell you something. For everything that we've done for the past 2 years, we did not get money from outside people. We've done everything on our own. Now, we look at one of the other situations, World Martial Authority. I mean, it's probably going to be the biggest joke, because as far as I know, Fani Fonsa is supposed to arrest President Ramaphosa today. Today is the 12th. So they've been doing it for a few times already since the 1st of October. And yet our people are running and supporting them, because there are money coming from that side. I do not buy people over. I'll talk to you and I will convince you. And if you're not convinced, you decide to go with somebody else. Yes, for sure. That's your democratic right.
Yeah.
But when we proceed and achieve what we've set out to do, when you come back, unfortunately, you have to toe the line. And that is all I can tell people. We are really working hard to make this thing a reality. It's not for us. It's for our people.
For our future kids and future generations. You know what? It's like I said when I started a couple of years back. I started this with my leaders, and I also spoke to even family and friends. They were the ones that was like telling you, but it'll never happen. I can't, brah. Never. You sell out. It will never be. I said to them, listen, the mentality that you have is that you've been indoctrinated all these years to believing that you can't amount to anything.
Yeah.
You'll never sit on top. You'll always be at the bottom. You'll always be the one lifting the other one up, but not yourself.
Yeah.
I said, if we can change the people's mentality into saying to themselves and believing in themselves, saying that, listen, man, I can do this.
Yeah.
Why can he live in that house but not me? I can also live in that house. I just need to work hard. Stay focused. That's all I need to do.
And that's another thing that's quite important, is the overall of the education system, because nobody prepares you for
life outside.
Actual kids should be learning business skills. Yes, they have business economics, but practical business skills. They should be learning about tax.
Yes.
Till today, I don't know what the flip is happening with regards to tax. But I mean, it's something that you get. It's like, here's all these hurdles, socio-economic upbringing. You're dodging bullets on a daily.
Yes.
You're faced with gender-based violence. You're faced with alcoholism. You're faced with drugs. You're faced with gangsterism. And now you finally get out and you get a skit to go study at the TV at college, or you get lucky to get in UWs or UWC, etc. And now, student loans.
Yes.
But nobody taught you. Standard 8 already, how to start applying for NFAS, how to start getting these things, because there's ways to navigate the system. And there's ways to actually benefit on what the state has put out for you, but it's become so unsurmountable and there's so many loopholes that the youth, it's like, yeah, fuck.
You know what? When I was at school, I think that time was the standards not great. Standard 8.
Yeah.
I loved working with wood. And fortunately enough for me, I was at a school where if I had history, I could tell the history teacher, listen, I don't smack your class. If you're looking for me, I'll be in the wood workshop. And I'll be busy building lounges, clocks, tables. And no one ever bothered, because at the end of the day, I get my homework, I write it down, I could do my studying. The next day, it's almost like I've missed nothing. But that was just how I was. You see, and I started progressing in woodwork because at the end of the day, I got students that's matric that pays me to do their projects for them. And I was like, but I can make some money out of it. So this is actually not like a skill, but it's a hobby. And if you do something that you love, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah. And I think definitely like that. They in the schooling system failed in terms of identifying your actual aptitudes.
Yes.
It should be a case of maybe going up until as far as standard 8, and then you specialize.
Yes, and then give him a trade. Give him a trade.
Go to a trade school, go to a creative arts school, go to the school, or go into general academia.
Yes.
But I mean, there should be that.
I think there's no balance at school level, like you said.
Yeah.
First thing that they need to do is, like with the cadets that we were talking about earlier, teach the kids already there to start marching, and and that will bring a level of discipline. A couple of years ago, I did dragon boat racing for 21 years, and in my last years, when I started with the coaching as well. And I had kids there coming from Menenberg, from Kensington, from Mitchell's Plain, and from Bellar. And now they are different gang affiliations.
Yeah.
And I told them, when you walk in by the waterfront, you're no gangster. You belong to this one club and that club only. So I would allow them, before they get on the boat, they would shake hands with one another, all of them. And I told them, we all have one common purpose. When you get in a dragon boat, 20 kids in a boat, you all want, when you're sitting in a race, you all want to win. The only way you can do that is if you work together. And that is what they did. And then when they get off the boat, they would go and shower. They come back to the bakkie, shake everybody's hands again, and then I would take them out for go there to the Celtics garage, go and give them your manga chows and so on. But I made sure that everybody had the same piece, and everybody had a cool drink. And they're all happy, and they started talking together. And that is where you start building character. Because now you teach them, besides living in that poverty-stricken area, when you come out here, it's almost like a runaway for them, getting out of their situation. They know there's a glimmer of hope on the other side.
But,
and that is...
Yes, the thing is also that there's a lot of stuff that's not being shown to the kids, man. Like you said, dodging bullets and all that. That's all you know.
Yeah.
You see, that's all you know. You must dodge to get to school, and dodge to get home from school. And Cape Town has a lot to offer, but there's no one that can show them. That can show them. This is actually what you can do. This is where you can go. This is what you can see. A lot of people don't even know how the museum looks. They don't even know how the planetarium looks.
No, I can relate to that. Going overseas, it just opens your mind. Like, oh shit, I never knew this part of life exists.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I get what you're saying, and we definitely need to open the kids up to that type of way of life, man. And
Yeah, just in closing, I would like to say this to the general public. So the things that we experience on the Cape Flats, across Cape Town, across different areas, Atlantis, Worcester, etc., we do not need to see glimmers of hope. this needs to be the norm for us. It's like we are so traumatized. We are so apathetic to certain things. Like kids can walk. Oh, he's a dooie man in die straat en het nie 'n corona op hom. That is not the norm. And the current political parties that's ruling the Western Cape, that's ruling us nationally, have made us so insensitive to what it is to be human, to want the basic things, but when you speak out against it, you are demonized. You're told, "Julle is wille coloureds, julle perform alweer." No, this is, and how do you call it now? This is not the norm. It's a messed up situation, and we need to address this urgently because otherwise, should it become the norm, then you will have a bunch of wild, uncaring sociopaths that will take you out. You wouldn't be able to govern us. So it's best to see what is in front of you and make the act of change, because we're not your animals. We are human beings. We have a right to this land, to opportunities, as much as the next person.
Can I say something?
No way.
I believe in everybody's. There's good in everybody, man. So even this ruling parties that's governing us, I don't think personally they're out to get us, man. I just think, and what if they have proven that they can't lead us, man. The country's in this move.
Correct. Yes.
The Western Cape is run better than the rest of the country, but it's.
But it's still not better.
But it's still not. It could have. As it for almal benefit, dan sal kwaai gewees het. Dan sal dit bevolk gewees het. You know what I'm saying? So we've given the ruling party enough time, and the ruling party enough time.
27 years is a lot.
As lang, man, and I don't think we can afford to give them any more chances, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not. For me personally, it's not. I'm saying this out of they're not my race. It's just. It's time for us. Ek gaan my eie mense kans gee, man. That's it.
Dat is al wat ons vra. Gee ons eie mense daai kans. Nou baie van hulle gaan sê, nee maar waar gaan jy dit kry wat kan reg roel en so aan. Dit gaan nie oor een persoon nie. Ek wil dit baie duidelik stel. Dit gaan nie oor een persoon wat daar bo gaan sit en hy maak al die besluite nie. Daar is councils wat daar so sit en wanneer as ons gaan ons dinge reg kry Vrydag, dan gaan die mense self gaan input kry. Laat hulle kan sê, this is maybe a good idea. That is maybe a great idea. En dan kan ons dit daarvan aan afvat. But it is soos u sê, dis tyd laat ons mense opstaan en werk vir ons eie mense. And that's the bottom line to me. We are taking too many people has taken us for granted.
Yes.
And ons is op we are at that point now. It's come to the bottleneck now. And that cork is going to pop off very, very soon.
Yeah, we can't.
What we do not want is where our people start taking law into their own hands.
Yeah.
That is going to cause havoc. That is what we're trying to prevent. By getting us and taking the simple route, which is a legal route. And I know the things that we've done is they cannot deny us. They have to come and sit in negotiation where we will then negotiate the best what we can for our people, first and foremost. And then the other people are still here. Ons gaan nie nou almal uitjaag. Almal gaan deel wees van die proses. But they need to understand there's still a government. We need to adhere to that government.
Yeah.
We're not going to have any draconic rules or regulations to govern other people. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. And that is how it's going to work with us. They've known it all these years. Since 1652, our people are in this position because we are open and we give with a free heart. And too many people has come and they've taken, and where they had the little finger, they've grabbed the whole arm. And that is what we're stopping now. We're telling them, listen, move back. You're still getting the finger. Leave the arm alone now. That is basically what we're telling
people. We're not giving the finger, we're giving this like the part of the nail.
Ons geen middelvingers, ons geen middelvingers.
So thank you to Tarquin, Graham Gain. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. Thanks for tuning in.
Away. So yeah, for those people that are available on Friday, what is the kickoff time for the march?
We'll be in town by 9 o'clock.
By 9 o'clock. Those that are available, garden support, unfortunately, up in Joburg. But yeah, those who can, make it their way and who feel strongly about this, start showing our support because ons gaat nie vir kom as draad sit te sê.
Ja, nee.
We need to start advocating for our rights and joining as much platforms as possible and making our voices heard.
George, I want to say thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me back.
For coming, sitting. If ever you guys feel that you need to discuss something, let us know.
Yes, definitely. No? Well, we'll talk again after Friday.
Definitely. I just want to, in closing, I just want to make one quote, man. On what you said now, on Friday, we love everyone's support. So from my side, I'd like to say to everyone that's listening to this podcast that don't wait for change, but be the change.
Yeah.
Start pitching up. Because it's not for me, it's not for you, it's for everyone outside. Thanks, guys, for having us today, man.
Shot, man.
Babbling Heads, we're out.
Peace.
The Babbling Heads podcast.